This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears, and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. The starters now on offense. And Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries. But, boy, as he hit the NFL like a bomb. Stephon Diggs, a crafty, mature route runner who can go the distance.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. On 2nd down, Cook. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. Time to run through the starters on the defensive side for Chicago. And they're currently 21st, Charles, in the NFL against the run.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
Let's go! Blue 90!
On 3rd down, Nicholson. Throw left side complete. That's Clark. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 15 yards through the air on a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck roll that they can fall back on anymore.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
To throw again. Nicholson. And he's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
From the gun, Nicholson. Wide open receiver complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Green, 39.
Off looking right, and a short gain down to about the 33. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Here we go now. 3-19.
To throw on 3rd down, Nicholson. And he's got his man on the out route. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Work. Hey, gotta go. Hey, gotta go.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Excellent effort defensively by him. 2 tackles for a loss last week, now 1 here in the first quarter.
He's an absolute disruptor, isn't he? And I think most offenses would love to go against guys who just want to hold the point of attack and try and keep things clean for their linebackers. But when they make those moves and they can get upfield, past the offensive line into the backfield, that's hard to handle.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Any team that successfully runs a toss play cannot do it with an offensive line that can't move. You've got to have mobile players, especially those tackles, who can move laterally and seal the edge in order for the back to get upfield.
And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. He's going to float this one deep right side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? There was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
Muscles him off. Nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. The first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from the Motor City. It's the Lions that have grabbed the early lead. That one clearly still early, but that would be a bit of a surprise.
Here we go now. 3-19.
And they'll run it here. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Nicholson. And he will find his man on the outside. 3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break the tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top. Take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. They run the counter with Cook. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Set. Blue 90.
Operating from the gun. Nicholson. And complete right side to Cook. And he gets it down to the 32. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a 1st down when you want 3, get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
Now let's go. Green 30.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And now running, weaving through traffic, and now he's free. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it to the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Now Trubisky on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
On the completion, this is Carey. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. This is Cohen on the toss, and he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
I know it's the first half, but it's still hard to curb the enthusiasm for that stop. 3rd and 1, and the offense can't get there. The defensive team has got to feel very good about themselves. Great job out-leveraging the offense.
They'll try and pick it up with Cohen. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
Oh, he's not going to get it by much, but on 4th and 1, all you're worried about is moving the sticks. And here he's able to fight his way forward for a couple of yards, and that's all he needed.
From midfield now, here's Trubisky. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to be intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
And they'll go on the ground. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Hurry up, here we go. 319.
Off the bootleg. Nicholson. Oh, he's got a man And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Looking to throw. Nicholson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Back to throw. Nicholson. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
And that drop will cause a little bit of angst for the play caller because you know they've worked all week game planning and flexing the tight end out and making him a matchup issue for the defense. They have what they wanted, and he drops the ball.
Yeah, just couldn't hang on to the slant. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on fourth down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. Back deep, Tariq Cohen. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. Well, that's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's got him in, complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. And that one results in 35 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's all.
And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Now Trubisky lost the football. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They go play action with Trubisky. Throws right side, and that's complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That goes for a gain of 31. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
A give. This is Cook. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great... He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And this one will be brought back to the 22. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but
it got his man complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. It's a big-time play there for the Bears. 44 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now Trubisky to throw on second. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a second and long after the holding call. Trubisky will throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. A.J. Boye with a pick. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And that's incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Hey. Here we go now. Blue lightning.
Handoff comes to Cook. And an alley to run. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
And the broken tackle helps lead to a 1st down gain. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Cook, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Green 30.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 10.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Looking to throw. Nicholson. And he's able to find Diggs. And he takes this thing way down into Chicago territory. A big play for the Vikings on 3rd down. 51 yards. Back in the first quarter, you said it, they need to avoid the big play, but he just got a big one right there.
You can't relax. You know, we talked about in the first quarter, but as the game progresses, still opportunities, and he took advantage of them there.
He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
To throw on 2nd down. Nicholson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
Let's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. And now a spin. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
Let's go.
Play action. It's Trubisky. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Here's Trubisky to throw, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here we go on 4th down with Trubisky. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Burton. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight...
This is caught inside the 15. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bears get a bit closer.
Red, throw.
And that time, he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, is what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the three-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that.
Toe bashed it.
Super toe.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Set. Blue line it.
They run it again with Cook. And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 9.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Back to throw. Nicholson finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 22. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Trubisky. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Here comes a big one as this crowd gets up making some noise. It's 3rd and short. They'll try and run for it with Smith, and he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. Now the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up 2nd down.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Throw left side complete. That's Burton. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Trubisky finding the former Eagle Burton for the Chicago first.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. A 1st down carry for Smith. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the
touchdown, Chicago! As his guys are in for 6. And now the Bears are within a 2-point conversion of tying up the game. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
And the failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case, now he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
Let's go!
Throwing again. Nicholson. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And now look at this, big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field. And they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the 4th, a costly turnover. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Here's a give to Smith. They find some open field here. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down.
Every player I know tends to play the game in his mind before it actually happens. There's no way he thought that at this stage of the game, this would be his first big run like that.
Yeah, but it's got to feel for him like the floodgates open, a sigh of relief. Now we'll see if things can open up for him.
See if it can continue.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On second down, here's Smith. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it first and goal.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on first and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. Trubisky going to take it on the sneak, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Mitchell Trubisky scoring on the sneak from a yard out, and the Bears have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through places.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Leonard Floyd in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green, 30.
They'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He's back to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. And now before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on 4th down.
Set. 319.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Now in desperation. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. And with just over 40 seconds now remaining, he gets up and spikes it.
Hurry up, here we go. 319.
He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. Back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Well, Charles, exciting to the very end. That's what we just saw in this game. Final play there, had it in the red zone, but anytime you're outside the 10, that's tough trying to draw up a final play to get in, and they couldn't do it.
It certainly is. So what they were looking for was, extra time. Too bad it's not FIFA soccer, right, where you get a little bit of extra and you get a chance to run a couple more plays and maybe get closer and take that last shot into the end zone.
So for the Bears, they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Philly to take on the Eagles. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, any slim hopes they had at a playoff berth gone now as they drop to 4-9. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. And for Charles...
You